The opening of Spider-Man 3 is still a week away, but now Sony is confirming to dailies that there are plans for Spider-Man 4, and that great news leads our dailies news.
The story of Spider-Man 4 and its cancellation is pretty well known at this point. However, sometimes I like to think about what would have happened if the movie had never been shelved. What would the marketing material have been like, and what type of fan-made material could have released for the film? Luckily, since Spider-Man 4 did start early pre-production with plenty of media coverage, it means we do have a bit of details worth talking about. In fact, Raimi had brought on a set designer who began to work on sets and environments for the film. Raimi also brought on 2 VFX supervisors, so production material was indeed being made despite development hell. In fact, we've gotten a look at these production materials over the years. The first is this Spider-Man 4 promotional poster, which appears to show a city skyline, a series of webs, and a giant metal 4 in the iconic Spider-Man font. This would have likely been used as official promotional material if the film had gotten further in development. Now, some have come to believe that this promotional poster was fake. However, it is indeed real, as it was present and hung at the Las Vegas Licensing International Expo in 2010. We also got a look at some unused Spider-Man 4 toy packaging by Christopher Metzger. There's also this Spider-Man figure that was exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con 2010, which some people theorize could have been unused merchandise for Spider-Man 4. There was also unused conceptual artwork created by Kelly Yates for several toys as well, such as this one, which appears to be a goblin glider with Dr. Octopus arms sprouting forth. Spider-Man then rides on this glider and can call it forth to him. There was also conceptual artwork for a web shooter toy, Sandman gun toys, various aerial gadgets, a wingsuit Spider-Man toy, a toy for Electro, and finally, a toy figure for the Vulture. Now, it's important to know that this does not necessarily indicate what Vulture looked like in the movie, and could just be Kelly Yates' own original concept for the character. We know about other unused materials from the film's marketing, such as 2 unfinished Spider-Man 4 tie-in games, one made for Xbox and PlayStation, and another made for Nintendo Wii. Not a whole lot is known about these Spider-Man 4 games, but more and more material have released about these projects as the years have gone by. The final piece of unused marketing material I could find was this one. Sometime around Spider-Man 4's pre-production, it seems Starbucks began to work on building a special design for a Starbucks location. According to commercial designer Leslie Ray Fox, this was made for the set of Spider-Man 4, so this may have been a location Spider-Man would have visited in the film, or perhaps it would have just been in the background of the movie.
Word on the streets is we might see a vampire antagonist in the next Spider-Man film.
What? I don't know anything about that.
If you were closely following the development of Spider-Man 4 in 2007, 8, and 9, speculation around the villain of the movie was the thing everyone got excited about. There were many candidates for who could be the antagonist of the film. There were characters like Morbius, Electro, and Morlun. However, there was at least 2 villains who fans desperately wanted to see as the villain of Spider-Man 4, Carnage and the Lizard. In late 2010, MTV held a poll asking fans who they'd like to see as the villain of Spider-Man 4. Carnage and Lizard were the 2 most popular picks, as to many fans, they made the most sense. In Spider-Man 3, although Venom was destroyed, a piece of the Venom symbiote still existed within Dr. Kurt Connor's lab, meaning that either Venom or perhaps Carnage could manifest in some way. In terms of Lizard, it only made sense for him to eventually become the villain. Kurt Connors was present in Spider-Man 2 and 3, and with each appearance, he seemed to gain more screen time and importance to the plot. It only made sense that Raimi was building towards some kind of Lizard storyline, and it's not just fans who believe this. Even Stan Lee, in a 2007 interview, stated that it only made sense for Lizard to be the villain of the film. Couple this with rumors stating that Lizard was indeed the villain, and a plethora of interviews from Dylan Baker and Sam Raimi, and it's no wonder many fans were convinced Lizard was going to be the antagonist of the movie. So there you have it. At the time, many fans were pretty sure Lizard and Carnage were the best candidates to be the villains, and some fans even theorized on how they could work both villains into the plots. Well, we all know how this ended up going. In December of 2009, the site Movie Line would report that John Malkovich was eyed to play the Vulture in the movie, meaning that the Vulture was the main antagonist of the film. And oh boy, that did not go over well in terms of fan reception. Upon the news that Vulture was the villain of the movie, fans made their disdain very clear. Vulture was a stupid villain from the 60s who never managed to really become intimidating over the years. He looked stupid, he was goofy, and his ability set wasn't very interesting. There were so many better options Sam Raimi could have picked, and this choice made some lose faith that Raimi knew what he was doing. Of course, with hindsight today, we know that not only could Vulture work as an antagonist, but Raimi had a pretty cool idea for him. However, fans back then did not know this, so it felt like Raimi was cooking up another disappointing Spider-Man film. It's also here where we truly saw just how much people wanted Carnage or Lizard as the film's antagonists, so you can imagine just how upset people were at the time. Don't even get me started on the reports of Black Cat being reinvented to become a new villain known as the Vulturess. Fans expressed their excitement for Spider-Man 4 in other ways. There were, of course, a large series of fan posters that started being made around late 2008 and all throughout 2009. Most of these posters were pretty simple, harkening back to the posters of the previous Spider-Man films, featuring Spider-Man front and center. However, as you can see as well, plenty of posters were made to express fan excitement over the villain of the movie. Some posters feature more unique antagonists like the Scorpion and even Kraven the Hunter. However, as we all know, Carnage and the Lizard were the most popular picks to be the villains at the time. So as a result, Carnage and Lizard fan posters were the ones you saw the most during this time. In terms of fan-created content, however, YouTube was the place you had to be, as there were literally hundreds of videos hyping up Spider-Man 4. The videos ranged from various styles of content, including slideshow videos featuring what villains fans hope to see in the movie, to different fan casts of various characters. Once again, you see fans expressing their hopes that either Lizard or Carnage would be the villain of the film. Of course, fan-made Spider-Man 4 trailers were among the most popular types of videos on the site, with fans speculating on how the plot of Spider-Man 4 would go, utilizing various elements from different media to convey their ideas, such as this creepy lab shot of a scientist injecting himself with some kind of formula, transforming into a giant lizard creature, and Spider-Man having to stop him. Other trailers portray Lizard in a more comedic way, like some shots that have him as a velociraptor. Unlike the Lizard, however, Carnage was a bit more difficult to portray in a trailer. Basically, every trailer used this shot of Carnage, which came from a commercial for the game Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Others used clips of different creatures as placeholders for Carnage, such as this liquor from the Resident Evil movie. One thing's for sure, if you were a kid back during this era, seeing all these fan-made trailers must have been mind-blowing. In general, It's strange to see just how unrealized the hype for Spider-Man 4 was like. You can tell that if the movie had continued to develop, the excitement would have been at levels never seen before.